Hi everyone, welcome to my little review of the FUJIFILM Instax SQ6 camera. I bought it a month or so ago while I was on holiday in Spain and really enjoyed documenting some moments and scenes from my time there in Malaga. It's a fun camera to use and has a lens that equates to around 32mm in full frame terms, which suits my shooting style quite well, I think. Here I'll share some simple thoughts, a few tips, plus many examples, and also describe the camera's different shooting modes, including some double exposures and an attempt or two at a selfie. First things first though, I want to clarify that this is an analog camera. There are other Instax Square models that capture the image digitally and then let you select which you'd like to print out. There are advantages to that way of doing things, of course, but advantages aren't always that fun. I learnt to enjoy the fact that every press of the shutter button cost me about €1 and gave me a print whether I liked it or not. I must say that I immediately loved the look of the camera when I first saw it on the shelves. I think it resembles a cute happy emoji of a squashed retro style camera with its two-tone black and slightly silvery white. It looks fun and cool, but probably more fun than cool. The SQ6 is pretty easy to carry around. It's quite chunky of course, but it's fairly light. Both the front and back have a striped texture to the plastic, which helps the grip. Most importantly, there's a good thumb grip on the right side, which makes holding the camera while walking around feel pretty secure. Although the camera looks kind of big and boxy, I love that it just fitted into the back pocket of my jeans. I personally prefer that to wearing the camera around my neck. There are 7 modes along the top of the camera and 3 buttons on the left side. The mode button of course changes the mode. The timer button delays the shutter being fired by 10 seconds so you have time to jump in front of it. And the third button suppresses the flash. So yes, to clarify, when you turn the camera on, the default is that the flash will fire. You press the button to stop this. Although I would often turn the flash off, I do appreciate why the flash being on is the default. It's a good reminder that flash gives the pictures a bit more punch and saturation, and sometimes I feel the photos could do with this. Both creatively and financially, it's probably best to waste a bit of battery power than to waste a shot because it was underexposed. So, to the shooting modes. Auto is what you'd expect. It auto-focuses and the exposure is regular. I used it for a lot of my first shots, but learnt that if you can choose a more specific mode, it's probably better. Selfie mode sets the focus for close-up, and with this camera you can compose using a little mirror on the front of the camera. Here's me and a friend. Macro mode similarly sets the focus to as close as possible, I believe to between 30 and 50 centimeters. Although the mode is illustrated by the familiar flower icon, I wasn't all that successful in taking shots of Spanish flora. However, I did learn to simply use the macro mode for anything at all that was fairly close up, even for things over a meter away or so. That seemed to work just great for me. The mode illustrated by the mountain is of course for landscapes and faraway subjects. As I got more experience with the camera, I tended to use this for most of my pictures. For any type of wide street scene or landscape of any type. In fact, if I'm understanding the technical specifications correctly, you're best to use this mode for any subject that's over 2 meters away. As you can see, that's the vast majority of the pictures that I was taking here. Next we have the double exposure mode. You know what this does, and it's certainly worth practicing with this a bit. In Malaga, I tried to overlay Pablo Picasso's women running on a beach onto the nearby sea. I was pleased with the idea, but the photo is a bit messy. One warning though, for one attempted double exposure, I took a picture in town and then took a leisurely walk to the beach to add some seed to my would-be masterpiece. However, I discovered that after 5 minutes, the photo is developed even if you haven't taken your second exposure, so don't wait forever. The camera comes with 3 color gels that fit neatly over the flash. I didn't use this particularly much, except to add some red to this tree and this landscape scene. It's just a little detail, but I like it. I'd probably play much more with the color flash in the future though. The final two modes are labelled L and D. Simply select these if you would like to lighten or darken your images. It's basically an exposure compensation setting, adjusting the auto exposure by plus or minus 2/3 of a stop. However, as far as I know, you cannot combine this exposure compensation with any of the preceding modes. I loved shooting with the camera, and although the pictures sometimes felt a little washed out, I slowly learned to find scenes that played to its strengths and had bold shapes and colours. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions about the camera, I'll try and answer them in the comments. Thanks again, and see you all soon.